Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and this is The Road to the Record, where I work to achieve mastery of 10 games and a hunt for the best score of the Decathlon. If you like what you see, remember to hit that like button. If you want to see more, hit subscribe. Let the games begin. This is Dirt Rally, and it's week 44 of competition. I'm through the first 3 stages of the 5th event in the championship with my 1980s Renault 5 Turbo. My real competitors are Driscoll and Ericsson in the championship, and I am comfortably 30 seconds ahead of Ericsson and just 10 seconds behind Driscoll at this point, at a track that I am notoriously really good at. Actually, I usually am up around the top 2, but this car just doesn't have the pace of the other cars in this championship. And also, it doesn't handle like a dream. You really have to scrub off the speed before cornering, otherwise you get a lot of understeer. So I'm running well, I'm running comfortable. I've had very few mistakes of any kind, but this car is just not capable of getting much more out of it than it is.
200 past junction.
Should see before the end of this stage what I'm talking about with the car. But after a few stages, I've already learned the limitations. For example, right there, that's supposed to be a speed 5 corner, and I barely made through as a speed 3 corner. It just doesn't handle those high speed corners well. And here, for example, see, if you don't scrub off the speed ahead of time, it just doesn't corner at all. So you've got to be down to the speed here early in order to get through it like I did there. So with those examples already out of the way, let's get to it. Give it what I can get out of this car. I still manage a few green sectors here and there. And good times. It's not like I'm far out of it, but I can only get so much out of this car.
And crest. Caution braking, turn right 1. Don't cut.
That whole having to brake early to scrub off that speed and not being able to take high speed corners at high speed is what's got me where I am and not in that top 3 positions. It has stability, it just can't handle the high speed corners is the biggest thing. Can't handle really any speed in the corners. Whoa, that's the first time I've done anything like that here. Uh-oh. Oh, there's my first mistake. That was it right there. That's my first big mistake here.
Immediate hairpin left round Bales, keep in, rocks on exit.
That's gonna be costly.
200. Crest jump maybe 80. Bump junction. Into left 6 long, bump and crest. Caution braking left 3. Right 6, 130.
Let's see, speed 3, it wouldn't make it at all. I had to get down to speed 2.
And turn right 4, don't cut. Into turn square left, don't cut, keep in, rocks on exit.
No way I was going to make it through there as speed 4. This thing. So I have to take a lot of corners slower than I would otherwise. And that added in with that one mistake now is definitely going to hurt me. So I'm down 17. Oh, you can already see right there. Just any speed left in this car and it will not corner. I was already going well slower. They said, what, 3, 4 on that corner? I was already 2 going into a speed 1 through there. First gear, and I couldn't turn at all. So I was well below the speed they suggested and couldn't turn at all. And that's essentially 2 mistakes. So through the first 3 stages, I was pretty much mistake-free, and then I had to open my trap and start talking to you. Hello, how you doing today? And now all of a sudden I'm just not maximizing my potential here.
Caution tight chicane right entry, 150. Caution tight chicane left entry, 200. Care, turn square right, don't cut. Truck on exit. 60 crest. Past junction. Right 3, don't cut. 100 through dip, past junction. Left 5 times 3,
Again,
don't
I
cut.
barely
60.
made it through there, and I was almost down to second gear.
Right 3 opens lock, past
Here I
junction.
did have to go down to second gear to make it through, so again,
Turn
it's
square
just
right, don't cut.
kind of
80.
reiterates my point of what I'm dealing with and why I cannot get this car higher. So, certain cars are made for certain tracks. The BMW is perfect for this one. I would be right there with Minami and all at the top of the standings if I was in the BMW. But other courses would not be the same.
Continues 100.
But over these last couple races, I'm
Into
starting to
caution, turn left 5 back,
like
and
this
keep
Renault
mid on
less
exit.
and less
Past
as I'm
junction, 80
definitely
crest.
finding its flaws.
Left 4 over crest, don't cut. 80. Right 6, don't cut. 80. Bump dip. Right 3 hard block, don't cut past junction. Left 6 past junction, don't cut. And dip. Right 5, 60 past junction. 80. Crest. Turn left 2, don't cut. 100. Caution braking, turn open hairpin right, don't cut. Turn acute left, don't cut. 150. Crest past junction, left 5, into right 5 over crest. Into caution, left 5 long, braking through gate. Turn right 3, don't cut. And right 5 tightens 4 through dip.
Now, being this is
Into
a
left
lengthy
4, don't
stage,
cut. Opens long.
again with the speed, had to scrub off more speed. I was all the way down, what, 2 gears below what the corner was suggested to be at, and I still ended up with understeer.
Caution hairpin
And
left,
then as
down.
soon as I hit the grass on the other
Into
side, it
acute
spun
right,
me.
down. Into left 6, 80.
So this car is just horrible
Right 6,
here
80.
at bomb holder.
Care right 4
I'll
rocks on
move it.
exit. Left 5, 100 through dip. Caution braking
The
over
technical
hairpin left.
sections have been where I tend to gain time.
Into hairpin right, no cut, 200. Left 5 over crest, deceptive, 100 down. Caution braking, turn open hairpin right, don't cut, 80. Crest 80, right 6, through dip, 100. Double caution, keep left at
Cars
junction,
sound here in
jump
this
maybe.
forest though.
Keep mid, rocks on exit.
Come on. There you go.
100 through dip. Right 6 to finish.
Not a very good stage there. I'm going to lose a little time. We'll see though. 53 seconds. I only lost 4 seconds to Ericsson, so that's good. Minami and Dahl a little further out of reach. I stay ahead of Harris. And Driscoll. Broken wheel. 15 minutes. Driscoll's out of it. That's going to be huge for the championship. Harris, Fontaine, I know that I can overcome them head to head. It's Ericsson and Driscoll that are those real contenders. But after that DNF, the second, and look at that, everybody moves up a spot. So I'm into third for the race. But after that DNF in the last race, when all was well, just made it that much more sad. I was doing pretty well. But trying to overcome a point deficit from that DNF is going to be really tough here in these last 2 races. Here, I should not face that threat, but I didn't have a very good stage that time, for sure. And I'm not going to get this car back up. Suspension's fine. Brakes really need work here. paces. Yep, that's gonna have to do it. That's all we get. This car's hard on. This track is hard on cars.
3,
It's
2,
heavy pace.
1, go. Care, turn left one, don't cut, opens 100. Caution, tight chicane, right entry, 150. Caution, tight chicane, left entry, 200. Care, turn square right, don't cut, truck on exit. 60 crest, past junction, right 3 don't cut, 100 through dip, past junction, left 5 times 3 don't cut, 60. Right 3
See,
opens
that's
long,
a
past
3.
junction.
A 3. I'm down to a 2 and I couldn't turn through
Turn
there.
square right, don't
It's just,
cut,
this
80.
car does not do well with any sort of pace on cornering, which is
Left 5 long,
the worst
don't cut, 150.
for here in Germany.
Caution, turn
Deutschland.
right 2 don't cut, immediate turn
11
left 4
seconds. Are you kidding me? 11 seconds off the pace?
150 past
I lost a
lane
couple
ones.
seconds there, but that was it.
Right 5 continues 100.
Not a good time so far.
Into caution, turn left 5 bad camber, keep mid on exit. Past junction, 80 crest. Left 4 over crest. don't
Again,
cut,
see, I was all the way
80.
down to 3. It said 5.
Right 6
And
don't cut,
I already
80.
slid
Bump dip.
to the edge of the
Right
road
3
there,
half
meaning
long,
that
don't cut,
was
past junction.
the right speed.
Left 6
I
past
got all I
junction,
could get
don't
out of
cut.
that corner. Maybe a couple mile an hour
Right
more,
5,
but
60
certainly
past junction,
not
80
4th
crest.
gear, and definitely not 5th gear. I would have slammed right into the
Turn
crowd.
left 2 don't cut. 100.
Enough complaining. Just time to get to
Caution,
work.
right,
14
turn
seconds
overhead,
lost
right,
now.
don't cut.
Deficit's getting
Turn
bigger.
acute left don't cut.
Broke a
150.
little early that time. That wasn't perfect by any means. Oof. Look at that. I'm already in 1st gear and I can't... Oh, 2nd gear. But I couldn't turn. Like, I could not get it to turn at all.
Crest past
Ay,
junction.
ay,
Left
ay.
5 into right 5 over crest.
No. 4th gear. Can't turn. That's a 5th gear corner.
Puncture right rear.
Oh, gosh. Puncture.
Into caution.
Puncture.
Left 5 long,
And it's a
right
bad
5
puncture. Minute and a half lost to repair the puncture, but I had 2 stages to go here and was not going to be able to get through them. I couldn't even go straight there. That puncture was full
And
blown.
right 5 times 4
So,
through dip.
got out of the car, made the repair. It's a
Into
minute and a
left
half
4
lost
don't
putting
cut.
on.
Opens long, 80.
Oh, gosh, this is terrible. I can't drive this car at all right now. I've got no control here. These corners are too technical, and I'm even as slow as I'm going, I'm not getting through them. I need to go back to what I was doing and really, really slow down. I've already raced
Into
this
left 6, 80.
section in one of those
Right 6,
double
80. Care right 4 rocks on exit. Left 5, 100 through dip. Caution
marathon
braking over
stages.
hairpin left.
Well, so that's 2.5 minutes down. This is a lot of
Into
time
hairpin right.
lost.
Cut,
And
200.
again, that's downhill. Could not slow down. Could not scrub off any speed. And just could not turn at all. You turn the wheel and nothing happens. It's just massive, massive
Left
amounts of
5 over crest,
understeer
deceptive,
with
100
this
down.
car.
Caution braking, turn open hairpin right, don't cut. 80.
No matter how early I braked, I still just cannot scrub the speed off anymore.
100.
Brakes are just, they're toast or
Double
something.
caution, keep left at junction,
I
jump
can't scrub the
maybe,
speed off, and
keep
without that
mid,
speed
exit.
coming down, I'm not making turns.
100 through dip. Right 6 to finish.
Feeling out of control here. Very glad that I'm at the end of this stage. And that's gonna be ugly. 14th on the stage with the flat tire. Of course it doesn't even show up in the notes, which is ridiculous. And it's Driscoll. Driscoll in 15th. So I just gained a minute and a half over Driscoll, but I lose time to everyone else. It's going to be interesting to see where I go. I lose 1 spot to Ericsson, and I'm well back of Ericsson now, more than a minute and a half down. But I'm still well up on Campbell, Fontaine, and everybody else. And there you go. Driscoll's 14th. Harris is 11th. Okay. Stage 6. A minute and a half was awful, and I think it's the condition of the brakes are going down. And again, like I said before, when I can't get the speed down, it doesn't corner. I get massive understeer if I can't scrub the speed before starting to turn. So I'm going to have to get on the brakes that much earlier here through this stage. Lose a little more time because of it. Otherwise, I'm going to run into the same problem. Yeah, you could hear it. Hear the brakes? They're squealing so bad. So we cooked the brakes in the first part of that last stage. Remember, I couldn't get the brakes all the way repaired last time, even though I got it up to 90-95%. But I'm slowing down way early here, and the speed's just not scrubbing off. So we're in for a dangerous stage again if I can't focus and remember and keep braking early. Gotta brake early.
Left 6. Right 680. Caution jump past junction 100.
Okay, just 2 seconds off the pace. That's much better.
Caution braking. Turn acute right. $100.
Yeah, super early. Before that crest, I had already scrubbed off a good amount of speed. Got off the brakes momentarily when I went over the crest, and then finished slowing down. I'm braking really early here. So far, it's working for me. I know it's got to be costing me time on the leaders, but keep me at least on an okay time. That's what I need here. I've definitely got to avoid the wrecks. Couldn't scrub any speed off there, even though I thought I was early to the brakes, so I was not early enough. That was about normal braking time, and it just shot me right off. So
turn square right, don't cut.
see, I did really good on this. This was like the first stage.
Into turn right 4 half long.
Second stage, I think, was this chunk of track, and I did pretty darn good with it.
And turn right 1, don't cut.
But look how early I was on the brakes, and speed just does not come away. So you know exactly what's getting the first set of repairs, the time.
Right 6 and crest 500.
12 seconds down. That's not too bad considering what I'm dealing with here.
Double caution braking deceptive, turn right 1. Into turn right 3, don't cut, down. Keep in, rocks on exit. 100. Crest 100, down. Turn acute left, don't cut. 100 over crest.
Alright, there we go, to the finish. Okay, definitely took some damage there on the right side, but that's cosmetic. That was good enough for third on the stage, so good recovery stage there. Just 13 seconds off, picked up 4 seconds on Ericsson, 16 on Harris. Currently in fourth. I'm still well back of Ericsson though, due to that minute and a half repair. The minute and a half is the difference. plus the time before the repair. So that one stage has cost me 3rd place, and probably is costing me my chance at promotion this season, because there's only one event after this, and Ericsson is 6 points ahead of me. If I can't finish ahead of Ericsson here, even if I finish ahead of Ericsson in the next race, I think Ericsson's going to be too many points ahead unless Ericsson gets a DNF or finishes outside of the points. Means I'm taking the fate out of my hands and putting it into Ericsson's, which means I'm probably going to finish 4th in the championship and stay in this tier for now, the third tier. But I should have enough money coming from this race that I could see myself out of the car classification and into the next one. Two stages to go. I should be able to get the brakes fixed. Wow, they're at 90%? What the heck? Why is it that bad? Suspension. It's gonna matter here. Is enough. All right, last 2 stages.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Caution braking, turn square left, don't cut through gate, 200. Caution tight chicane left entry, 150. Caution tight chicane right entry, 150. Caution turn open hairpin right, don't cut, down, rocks on exit. 130 through dip. Left 5.
Brakes weren't in that bad a shape, but they certainly were acting like they were. And I already feel the difference. I'm slowing down. Scrubbing the speed a lot better than I was at that last stage.
Right 6 and left 6, 170. Caution turn left 4, don't cut.
Again with if I go at a speed 4, I slam into that rock. 8 seconds down with those extra slowdowns for those high-speed corners.
Crest, 250 through dip. Caution braking, turn square right, don't cut. Rocks inside and on exit. Into turn left 3, don't cut. Bank on exit. Left 6, 150. Double caution, left 6, immediate turn square right, don't cut.
Oh, immediate. That's your double caution? Oh my goodness.
Go back the other way.
What the heck? Is it... Ugh. Really? It kept the notice up there. I thought I'd come out the right way. What the heck is going on here? I turned right, the car turns left. Wow. If it would have not kept that message up there, continued telling me I'm going the wrong way, so the game just cost me 10 seconds. I come out going the right way.
Left 6.
Cost myself time there though. But the extra 10 seconds was entirely on the game telling me that I'm going the wrong way when I did come out the right way. Did read it right. Tells me I'm about to be disqualified, and I'm going the correct way.
left 5 half long, right 6 past junction.
Well, there we go. 3 key mistakes in this race. It's going to cost me some time. I was down 30 seconds.
And turn left 1 over
10 of those seconds, not my fault, but the other 20 seconds certainly were.
Left 6, 200 through dip.
Even though I didn't have much pace on that corner, I still couldn't make it through there.
Caution right 5 over crest.
Nice little jump there.
Braking turn square right, don't cut.
Speed 5, can't. Oh, come on, that's a little. It wasn't a tree.
80.
It's a little bush.
Turn right 1, don't cut. Care rocks on exit. 100 past junction.
Well, I'm just messing things up more and more here.
Junction 150. Right 5, don't cut past junction.
I'm losing focus, and I shouldn't be.
Left 5 past
Still got work to do.
100 to finish.
Sometimes you lose your cool. I don't know if you saw a few weeks back, Sergio Perez in Singapore. Perfect example of somebody who just lost their cool. First, he just turns right straight into his teammate Ocon, takes him out of the race, somehow escapes a penalty, which was absurd because that couldn't have been clearer. And then later gets frustrated when he can't pass Sergei Sirotkin, even though he's got a lot more pace. Finally gets up beside him, and then Sirotkin outdrives him to the point where he's still side by side with Perez. So Perez, again, for the second time, just turns and drives straight into him, and then finally gets a penalty that time. But that was awful. 7th place, 46 seconds off. Still in 4th though, and that's the key here. Is I'm too far back of Ericsson 2 minutes, and Campbell's too far back 2 minutes. I just need to keep this thing in one piece and get to the end here, and to not turn myself into Sergio Perez in Singapore here in this final stage.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Left 6, 80 through dip. Right 6, into left 4, into right 2, down.
Yeah, see, that was not a speed 4, not for this car, it's
Jump
not.
maybe past junction. Left 6 through dip, 200. Turn hairpin left. Don't
I had to
cut.
get off the gas even though I was only in 4th gear on one that's supposed to be
130.
a speed 6 corner.
Right
You get the
6
point by
half
now
long.
though. Let's just get to the end of this thing.
Caution braking bumps, acute left, don't cut. Into hairpin right. 100. Right 5, half long, don't cut.
And that's a good time, just 1 second off.
Into left 4 long. 100. Caution right 6, into immediate hairpin left, up. Hairpin right. 60. Right 4 tucks, 3 don't cut. And left 2 half long, keep mid, bumps. And left 3 past junction, through gate. Right 5 long past junction. Crest. Left 5. And right 5 through dip. 40. Dip. 100. Caution braking, turn acute right, don't cut. Into turn square left, long.
Now, just 5 seconds off, halfway through
100.
the final stage. Finally redeeming myself a little bit
Turn
after
right 1, don't cut.
my own boneheaded mistakes on
100
the
past junction. 60 60.
Last stage.
Caution left 5 bump, don't cut, be brave. 60 crest. Right 6 past junctions. Left 3 long, don't cut. 60
Barely made
keep
that
right.
even dropping down to third gear.
Left 6 don't cut, 80 crest. Caution right 3 don't cut, keep in rocks outside. 100 through dip, past junction. Turn right 5 cut, 60. Left 6 continues for 150, crest. 80 past laybys.
Drop all the way to
Caution
third
turn
on
right,
a
don't
6 turn.
Immediate left 1 don't cut. 170.
Just barely kept control too. All the way down in
Right
third
5
gear.
don't cut. Into turn left 1 dip. Don't cut. 40 past junction. 80. Left 4 long. And right 6 times 3 past junction. Opens 100. Left 4 don't cut, keep mid past junction, rocks outside. 60 crest. Finish.
There we go. This will just about do it. And that's not bad. Not bad at all. Ended on a high note. Still fourth. Oh, less than a second behind Ericsson. And Driscoll just 3 seconds ahead of that. Manami. 7.5 minutes down. Up to third. Manami drops to fourth. That's actually kind of disappointing, though, because Ericsson gets a bigger boost in points than I do in moving up that spot. But it does help me with the others. Campbell, Fontaine, Harris, all further back. Driscoll climbs back up to 10th place, but that's the last points getting spot. This is going to alter that championship quite a bit. I was 7th coming into this event. 128,000 credits earned. Finally, the last turbo upgrade is installed. All car upgrades are finally installed heading into the final race. Still only 6th. I overcome Driscoll by 2 points. I'm 2 points behind Fontaine. I'm 5 points behind Harris. And there you go, 9 points behind Ericsson. I'm not going to get promoted this season. I have almost no chance of that occurring at this point. Dahl, who had been 3 straight second places behind Manami, after 2 big mistakes right at the end of races, Manami drops to second in the championship and quite a ways behind Dahl. They are way out of reach. Ericsson, Harris, Fontaine are all still within reach, but really I'd have to probably win this last event for that to happen, and I just don't see that happening. I've had 2/3, I've had a 4th, but I've had 2 DNFs. That's been the difference. The consistency piece, it looks like I'm probably going to stay in professional, but hey, we still have one to go. So let's go ahead and save and exit for now. Let's go back to team management first, check on that. I have 2 races totals. Puente, let's get you extended as you're down to just 10 stages. Everybody's good to go for a while now. No upgrades coming anytime soon. That leaves 225,000. Head to the garage and only 1 car left to purchase here in the 1980s. That's going to get us completed here. We've now got the Ford Sierra Cosworth. But I don't think we have enough to get. No, we do not. This next race should do it though, so I should be able to change classifications, and in terms of money I'll be able to get any car I want, from the Lancia to the Peugeot, Ford, Audi, or MG. I'll have lots of choices, but we'll worry about that later. I've got to get through this race first. Alright, so we head to Wales for the final round of the Professional Championship in the 1980s classification. Again, it looks like I'm going to be in the Professional Championship for another year. Not getting promotion this time, but I should be able to get out of the classification as long as I do not DNF on this race here in Wales. So that's the main key, is getting through it. And let's just go ahead and jump straight in so I can get you at least a couple stages here. Maybe a few.
Five,
it looks like we're heading right to the
3, 2,
water splash here in the early part of this stage.
Go. 60 over crest, left 6, and
This
right
is
6
one that
over
certainly
crest.
could result in a DNF. So this
Left
is
6
not
and right 5,
going to be automatic.
and left 6 half long, 80 over crest, left 6, right 5,
Yeah, it
60,
looks like the water
keep
splash
right
is
over
not
crest,
right at the
150
beginning
through
here.
dip.
Or
Right
is
6,
it? Are you
150.
heading down to it? Down the hill here? No, no. Okay, it's not this stage.
Dip, right 6, and left 5 half long over crest, 100. Keep right over crest, 80. Keep left over crest, 80 over crest.
Again, at this point, I have little to
6,
race for,
jump
as
maybe
I'm not in
150.
contention for much of anything. A couple positions in the standings is all.
Left 6 and caution, right 6
Third
bump,
place
and left 5 long
appears to be out of
outside,
reach. That's just 3
130.
seconds off the pace. So, again, my main thing is I'm racing to get
Continue to
out of
80.
this classification and into the next
And
car,
right 5
which means
continues
I
over
need to
crest.
avoid a DNF to
Right
get
6
there.
over crest,
So
into
I
left
might
3
not finish this championship out with another episode. I might call it a series after this one and then off camera finish, so I'll give you what I can, first 2 or 3 stages here, and on the length of them, and then finish it out off camera, and then be starting with a new classification, but not a new tiered race, as it looks like I am destined to spend one more year in this, or at least one more competition season in the third tier.
Jump 60, crest, dip, right 3. Left 6, 60, line
11
over
seconds.
crest. Left 4, half long.
Not racing too hard
It's a
here.
right 1 long.
It is
cut,
cornering a lot better than
100.
it did in Baumholder, though.
Caution right 6, crest,
So
jump maybe.
this is actually a car that
Left
does
4
better
long, over crest.
in light grip situations than it does in heavy grip situations. Boy, that was close. That was little section of dirt
Left
that
4,
stuck out a bit more.
And crest. Into right 2 over 80. Tight
Just a little berm there.
and opens
And I
through post.
just barely clipped a piece of it. And I was doing just fine. I mean, I was on the road.
Right 6 posts, care, keep right over crest. Into left 6 jump maybe.
But it happens.
jump, and
And that's
keep
the
right
thing.
over
This
jump
is
100.
not a track that's
Keep left over
guaranteed to
jump
be a
maybe,
non-DNF.
And jump maybe, and caution jump maybe. Into left 4
Wow.
crest.
Again,
care,
with
left 5 long,
got
tight
little
one.
race here other than getting to the end of the race so that I can get an okay
Right over crest. 80 through
payday.
dip.
30 seconds off the pace
Crest right
here.
6. half
Not too
long.
worried about that.
150 over crest bump. Caution keep left over crest. Left 6, 60.
I just
right
need to earn a paycheck. 16th is not going to
6
get me a
through dip,
paycheck,
Keep right over crest, 150.
especially in the
keep
first
right over
stage or two.
crest. Caution left 3 long through
At
post.
6th, 7th, not
And
quite as good of a
gate
5th paycheck, but or a 4th place or a 3rd place paycheck.
Into right 5 half long,
But
80 through dip.
relatively minor difference between those placings versus being
Right 6
completely out of
100
it.
over big crest jump maybe. Hairpin left 100.
Boy, I'm down to a crawl and
Right
still
5,
getting
into
understeer.
right 5 long, don't cut.
I was
off
down to
the
10,
side.
15 miles an hour and it still didn't want to turn.
Keep left, finish.
Alright, there's the first stage. Sixth place. Pretty comfortably. I'm behind Ericsson, Harris, Driscoll. But honestly, not worried about that at this point. Just want to get through it. Now, if they all run into problems and I can climb into the top 3, that's a different story. And if that happens, if I do start climbing up the standings and they start running into problems or outside of the top 10, then I'll definitely make that next episode the end of this series. But
go. And left 4 logs inside. Opens long.
I was not paying attention to the countdown.
Caution braking, crest,
Missed it a little bit, but
80.
got off quickly enough, I guess.
Crest and left 6, keep in through gate 100. Crest into left 5,
Yeah,
keep in.
at this point, this might be the last
3 gate.
stage. We'll see how I'm doing on time here at the end of the stage.
Keep left
And if
through
the
gate.
next stage is
Right
a
5
long
over
one,
crest times to 4.
definitely this will be the last stage on the episode.
And keep left over crest.
Otherwise,
150 through
at this
dip.
point, I intend to do this off camera. Just
Care, keep
get
left
through the
over
race,
crest, dip. Left
earn
6,
some money.
100. Right 6 over crest, 150 through dip. Left 6, half long crest, and caution braking, keep left over crest, into right 2 times to 1. Opens. Right 5, and right 5 continues over crest, 100 through dip.
there you go. Despite playing it
Keep
slow,
mid
I'm
over
only 4
crest
seconds
and
out of it.
gate, 100.
Saw that edge coming for a second.
Caution, keep
Turned
left
hard
over crest,
right,
jump maybe.
got on the gas to push it away
Keep
from
mid
the
over
edge,
big jump.
and even
And
managed to
crest,
recover
into
and not
right 6,
slam into
crest,
the
100,
inside
left
bank
6
embankment
posts.
after making the recovery.
Left 4
Just to get it
times to
straightened
2.
out afterward. That was a good save.
And continues 80. Crest into right 5 long, keep in. Keep left over long crest, right 5 long, keep in. Into left 6 over crest, 100. Left 2 long, tights to 1. Into right 2, don't cut, keep left over crest. Right 6, keep in. Caution, camber. Left 4, 100 crest. 100 crest. Right 6 through posts.
Just 13 seconds off pace.
Keep
Doing
left
pretty
over
well.
long crest. Caution, braking 100, 150 past junction.
It's a
Open
really
left.
tough section.
Into right 2 times to 1.
I slowed down
Caution,
way
gate on
early
exit.
there, but just trying to be absolutely sure.
Into right 6 long, keep in. Left 6 over bump and right 6 over crest. And caution, left 4 logs. Left 4 60, right 4 long.
You can see that there's certain sections that I'm choosing to be a bit more
And left
cautious
6,
on,
And left 6 over crest, times
kind
to
of
5,
depending on
continues 80.
what's out there, kind of danger I face.
Into left 5, keep in 100. Right 5 long. And left
See,
5
that time I
over crest,
caught that
60.
little berm sticking out, but
Right 6,
I
100,
was
keep
definitely
mid
not in
over
the middle of
crest,
the
jump
road.
maybe.
I was definitely hugging that left side
And
and
left 6,
had too
80,
much
keep right over
speed
crest.
and couldn't really
And
turn
keep
right
over
because I
crest,
would have
80, keep left over crest.
nicked the edge a little more, so I
Caution
kept trying to
braking,
find a
100,
balance
right
to where I
4
could
down.
skim away and just push away from the edge.
Into left
The only
6
way I
through
ended up
dip.
doing it was by bumping that berm, and that got me off the edge. And luckily it didn't
Left
spin
6,
me
keep
around
in
in the
150
process.
line through dip, keep mid over crest. 4, keep in. Into right
Ooh.
6 over crest, 60.
Saw myself drifting towards the edge, got it back. Still just about on the road here. There we go. More time lost though. But again,
Right 6, keep in.
staying away from
and
the
left
DNF,
5
that's
over
that's
bump.
everything. I am out of time, so I'm going to go ahead and start wrapping it up here as I come towards the finish line.
Left 6 long,
I
80,
intend
6
on
finish.
doing this off camera and just finishing this race out, collecting my payday, and having enough money to move on to a new car. So this should be the last we see of the 1980s Renault 5 come in 7th place there. And that's going to do it for this episode on Decathlon Gamer. And remember, I'm aiming for the best of the best. So if you're ready to join me on my journey, hit subscribe and tune in next time on my road to the record. Bye for now.